Hello everybody, welcome back, or if you're new here, hello, I'm Cyrenne. Today's video is going to be about my unhealthy obsession with running shoes and how I have bought 5 new pairs in the last couple of months when I can't even or haven't even been able to run. We're going to be going over 4 of them today because one of them is yet to arrive, and I'm just going to tell you a little bit about each shoe and why I have bought it. Okay, so first up we have the Nike Vomero Premium. Now this is your full-length Zoom X with dual AirPods in the forefoot and the heel. We have a stack monster here with 55 mils of stack height in the back and 45 in the front, giving you an overall drop of 10 millimeters. This is your easy runs recovery day shoe. This is for comfort. This is not for running fast. We have 350 grams, I believe, weight-wise in a men's UK size 9. I've yet to weigh mine. This is a US 8.5 woman's. It doesn't respond like a really heavy shoe though. Thanks to the Zoom X and the AirPod units, we have quite a lot of nice pop through the shoe, and it definitely didn't feel as heavy as I expected it to. I believe this is sort of a build on the older Nike Invincibles. I remember having the Invincible Flyknit 2, which I also bought as a recovery day shoe, but that really felt heavier. This just feels fun. So I bought this shoe because, as you might know, if you've been watching some of my other videos, I am rehabbing my osteitis pubis at the moment, and I'm finally at a return to run stage. So I deliberately bought this shoe as the shoe that I would start using for my return to run because it is going to be so protective. Now that repeated ground impact for my pelvis at the moment is what's going to sort of keep me, it's what's the problem for me at the moment, because my tissues just aren't conditioned for it anymore. So I'm hoping that using something like this that is just so protective is going to give me a few more safer minutes, basically helping me build maybe a bit faster than a more firm shoe. So that was the idea behind buying this. I can appreciate that this is super, super niche and it might not be the right shoe for a lot of people. But for me, I feel like it was just made for my situation, specifically because Nike, when they designed this, I saw they were talking about how they had the Ultra G or anti-gravity in mind. So happy with the timing of this shoe. And yeah, so far I've been really enjoying it. Now, the price for me came in at 320 Australian dollars, which was full retail. Obviously, that is a really high price point for something that has such limited versatility. But again, given that I wanted this for such a niche purpose, I was quite comfortable to pay that. I think for most people, unless you have maybe a bit of extra cash, or you are deliberately looking right now for something to fill that spot in your rotation, like a recovery day shoe. I know some people have been using this as a long run shoe. I don't know that I would do that, but I personally like something quite a bit more nimble underfoot for a long run. Not to say you couldn't do that though. But yeah, unless you are trying to fill that spot deliberately in your lineup, I understand why this maybe isn't something for everyone. Personally, I'm still really happy that Nike made it though, because I feel like pushing the envelope and doing things like this are how we get really great innovation come through. So hats off to Nike for that. Okay, so in terms of your upper, we have a engineered mesh here, really, really padded tongue, nice structured and padded heel collar here as well. Laces, quite wide fitting, not too long, not too short. Everything about the upper is made to be plush and comfortable. I actually thought, especially given that I'm in the heart of summer right now in Perth, it is literally, I've just finished work and it is literally 39 degrees at the moment. So I did have reservations about whether this really plush upper was going to be too hot for me at the moment, but I took it out recently. It was a 30-degree day on my walk run, and it was really surprisingly breathable. I had no hot spots or any kind of heat concerns with it. So that was really exciting. Today will be a true test, because as soon as I finish filming these little clips for you, I'm still going to be out there for 45 minutes. And like I said, 39 degrees right now. Let's say it drops to 38 if I'm lucky. But I can't wait too much because I have to get to the gym afterwards. So yeah, really impressed with the breathability in it. Love all of the little accents. Aesthetically, I think this is just such a pleasing shoe. And quite often, I feel like men get the better colorways, but in this line, females definitely got the better runs, right? Like, this is beautiful. Now, I'm told that a lot of this is like 90s basketball aesthetic. I can't confirm that. I'm a 90s child, but I was definitely not watching basketball when I was that young. But really, really sick aesthetic. Like, I feel like, yeah, why would you not? It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. In terms of the fit, I went true to size and had no issues. I was pleasantly impressed with the amounts of width here in the forefoot and midfoot. So toe box, plenty of room, toes aren't feeling cramped. The engineered mesh upper is structured, but it's not clamping in on you. As somebody that does like a wider fit, which I'm going to talk to you more about in some of the following shoes, I was just really, really happy with this. Didn't have any heel slip or anything like that, and yeah, no lace bites. So really, really happy with the fit, actually. I think if you prefer something slightly on the wider side, you're going to really enjoy this shoe. It is still a standard fit. This is not a wide fit option, but it was really comfortable, plenty of room, definitely not narrow. Now, outsole. So we have got your typical Nike waffle rubber here. We've got it pretty much on the entire outsole, with exceptions for this little midsole bit, where we've also got some cutouts which show your air zoom units. I believe this is probably to primarily save weight, but maybe also help with a little bit of compression here. So yeah, pretty happy for your dry pavement, things like that. It is not going to be your wet weather monster, but in terms of what I need here in Perth, it's great. I haven't seen rain in months, so can't actually speak to it in the wet, but wouldn't take it probably out in crazy conditions. We also have that really wide base, which is going to help stabilize the extreme stack. I thought that it was going to feel more unstable than it did. I'm happy with it stability wise. I do have quite stable and strong ankles though, so if that's not you, I mean, you probably shouldn't be looking at something like this anyway, but yeah, just keep that in mind. We have mild rocker here in the geometry, nothing aggressive. And in terms of responsiveness, your full length Zoom X and your AirPods actually give you that nice pop. As I mentioned, it doesn't feel like dull or dead or mushy or anything like that. So really happy overall with the ride and the responsiveness, given again what it is meant to be, which is your nice recovery easy runs. You're also going to get a nice pop because of where they've placed the air zoom units. It doesn't actually matter if you're a heel striker or forefoot striker, you're going to get some of that benefit. So yeah, really, really chuffed with the shoe. So stoked I bought it. It is primarily going to be what I'm going to be using for the next little while until my tissues have built up some of that tolerance. I think once I get to about 30 minutes continuous, which I will do a rehab video update soon, because there's a lot has happened since my first rehab video. But I think once I get to that sort of point, I will transition into something that lets more of the load through, because obviously we don't want to hide from it forever. But for now, I just want to get to feeling like I can run again. So if this is going to help me get there, I am happy. Okay, on the complete other end of the spectrum to the Vomero Premium, we have the Evo SL from Adidas. Look, this was probably the most reviewed shoe last year, so I'm not going to dive into it too much. And also, caveat, I can't dive into it too much because I have had very limited exposure in it so far based on where I'm at in my return to run. Now, I bought the OG one because I heard that it is wider in the forefoot, which is going to suit me better at the moment. Obviously, we have got the Light Strike Pro foam in here, which is Adidas's Performance TPEE foam. Really energetic and springy. Loving this foam. One of my favorite ones to do the old push test on. Gosh, I don't really have strong fingers, so you can't tell probably in the video, but really nice. So we have 39 mils in the heel, 33 in the forefoot, I believe, so 6 mil drop overall, and she is light. I think this was about 224 grams in a men's size 9, and you feel that as soon as you put it on foot, you feel that she is a light shoe. So for me, I feel like the Evo is going to be a threshold tempo style shoe. I have heard, obviously, of the stability issues that some people say they have, particularly at lower paces. Responsive foams often give you that if you're shuffling. They give you that little bit of less planted feel, I suppose you'd say. There is a shank, a nylon shank, I believe, sitting here in the middle, again, to help with stability. That's not there to help propulsiveness, from my understanding. I managed to score this for 170 Australian dollars. I don't think you can do better than that, right? Like, that is insane. That is such a steal. Even when it was released, it was $240 here in Australia, which is a great price for what you're getting. Like, if you're getting a performance foam like that and a trainer, I feel like that is an awesome price, especially the way that shoe prices have been skyrocketing. But to get it for 170, like, come on, how could I not? Now, okay. Upper-wise, this is where it lost me a little bit. This is something I can comment on, obviously. As soon as I got it out the box, I was slightly disappointed when I put it on my foot. We've got this very stripped back synthetic textile material in the upper, which I enjoy. That's really breathable. It's really airy, but it does create a much less structured feeling and fit around the midfoot, which, look, it's good because I like something wider, but it also just felt a little bit less premium, a little bit less luxurious, I suppose. So I believe that they fixed that issue in the woven. But again, I bought this because I wanted the wider fit. So I'm fine with that. It was just something that I noticed straight away. And the tongue and the laces. Look, guys, I don't want to repeat on everybody else's reviews because we know that this is an issue, and we know that Adidas has done something about the tongue, I believe. I'm not sure about the laces. I don't think they did anything about the laces. I've never had really strong opinions about laces before. But let's be real. What is this kids craft type? Like, can you probably just, I mean, unless you get the shoe, you're not going to know. I watched all these reviews and I heard people talking about the laces, and I still just didn't care. And then I got it and I was like, this sucks. These laces are terrible. Yeah, have never had strong opinions, really dislike them. Don't know if Adidas had some contract that they had to fulfill, or like, why? Who was at Adidas that said, yeah, these laces are a goer? They're the ones. Like, strange. Tongue in this one is ungusseted, thin, and a little bit short. So yeah, I think in the woven they fixed that. It's a little bit fiddly when you're trying to get the lock in, but look, again, 170 bucks. I'm gonna make it work. Now, your heel collar has decent enough padding, comfortable enough, didn't have any issues there. I think I mentioned width-wise, impressed. Toe box felt roomy enough, no cramping or anything like that. Same with the midfoot, felt fine. The relaxed upper, again, probably helps in that regard. Now, the outsole. This is far more performance leaning, obviously, than something that we just looked at, like the Vomero Premium. You have continental rubber here on the forefoot and the main strike zones, and then you have Adidas's more standard rubber here in the heel, and some exposed light strike in the middle. Continental rubber is pretty pretty good, particularly in wet weather. So again, hasn't rained here in months, probably won't for another few months, but I expect that that will be quite good in those conditions compared to some other options. But yeah, dry pavement, it's been feeling really good. In terms of geometry, you have a nice rocker. Again, not very aggressive, not super propulsive, but just gives you a nice roll through. This is just a super agile, lively trainer. Again, from my limited experience and my little short, quick nips around in it, I have not been able to take it for a proper long run yet because I'm just not that at that stage of my rehab. I am walk running. So yeah, that's what it's had from me. And so far, I just feel like it's got a nice pop. It's fun. Yeah. In terms of aesthetics, you can't go wrong, right? She's classic looking. Adidas came out in, I don't even know how many colorways, a whole bunch of colorways in this, which is great. I love that we're getting lots of options in that. Yeah, nothing really to complain about in terms of the aesthetic except for the laces, but we're just going to look the other way when it comes to the laces. So overall, this is going to be for me when I am ready to start picking up the paces a little bit, which, yeah, TBC. And for most people, this is just going to be your really lively, nimble daily trainer who, again, yeah, can do the faster stuff. I think that's where it's more leaning because of that stability issue. But there are plenty of reviews on this out there with far more context and experience than anything I can put into it right now. But my experience so far has been that. Okay, next up, we have the Brooks Glycerin 23. Now, this is a Brooks's DNA tuned midsole here, nitrogen infused dual cell supercritical EVA. Gosh, that's such a mouthful. In layman's terms, that means that they've got a couple of different types of foam in here, which you can actually, if I had a different colorway, you'd be able to see those in there, which is designed in a way that we will have a more compressive, softer heel and a denser forefoot, which you really can feel when you are wearing the shoe. Now we have a 39 mil stack in the heel, 31 in the forefoot, so 8 mil drop overall. Now this is 309 grams in your US men's size 9. Again, have not weighed this in my US woman's 8.5. All of the shoes I'm showing you today are going to be a woman's US 8.5, by the way. I did purchase this in wide. Now, again, I'll get onto that soon. Yeah, really, really soft, stable, comfortable shoe. In terms of the lineup, this is Brooks's daily trainer. This is the one that you are putting your miles into. It has been around for a long time. It is probably their main go-to shoe. I heard one designer say that they sort of start with this each year and then they build their other side of lineups around what this is and what this is bringing and things like that. So yeah, this is the big gun from Brooks. Now, I paid 280 Australian dollars for this, but I did have a $30 discount. I am using this as a walking shoe. That is why I purchased this. It is, well, it's walking and it's daily. So I'm talking work, taking the dog out, yeah, things like that. That is why I purchased this shoe. Now, I believe the Glycerin 22 was actually in the similar price range as this one. So they haven't changed drastically with the new iteration. I do think that maybe that 280 price point is a little bit high. Again, I didn't purchase this to run in though. So for me, for the purposes that I bought it for, I wish it was lower, but I'm going to pay what I have to pay to get the right daily shoe because I'm spending so much time in it. In terms of as a daily trainer, what it's designed for, I feel like there are so many other fantastic options out in that range at the moment that I don't know if I would want to pay that price for this. Does that make sense? In terms of the upper, you have the triple jacquard mesh. This is, yeah, really soft, nice and structured. I really enjoy this, actually. The more I wear it, the more I like it. But be aware, it does run hot. So in my first couple of times taking this out, I did notice how warm it was running, particularly compared to our next shoe that we're going to talk about. So yeah, if you're prone to overheating or you live in a really hot place like I do, maybe just be aware of that, because it might be not your best option. Really padded tongue, you guys, like such an extreme padded tongue. I think in winter I'm going to love that, because this really gives this plush, cozy, that's the best word to describe it. The tongue gives this amazing cozy vibe to the shoe, and the soft knit and everything like that, the extremely padded heel. This all combines to a shoe that I just really can't wait to wear in winter. I feel like it's going to be nice. Your laces, really nice laces, slightly on the short side. Again, I don't have huge comments when it comes to laces. It's just not something that give me a serrated lace that doesn't untie on race day, and the rest of the laces I'm not going to have too many complaints with. Got a nice pull tab here, which is always good for a walking and daily shoe for me. When it comes to running shoes, I'm not as worried about a pull tab, but yeah, walking and daily shoes, because I might zip them on and off a little bit more, I appreciate that. So amazing. Yeah, really good here. Now, in terms of the fit, I went through to size, no issues there. This is where this shoe really stands out though, because you have this amazing volume in the shoe. In terms of the vertical depth here, it is really high. So I recently had a foot scan done, where we recognized that my foot sits just slightly wider than standard, but I also have a high arch. So those two things, like, together create quite a larger circumference. So the depth in the shoe, as well as getting this in a wide, don't know if I mentioned that yet, creates an amazing feel. I've been calling this like a bucket seat. I feel like it's the bucket seats, like that you get in cars. That's what this shoe is. Like, it just, the whole heel is just encompassed in there, and it kind of just feels like your foot is tucked in. And for wearing all day on your foot, fantastic, so good. Unless you need a wide shoe, you'll be fine in the regular version of this. Outsole, right? We have Brooks's, I think it's just a blown rubber here, covering the entire outsole. So very limited exposed foam here. Not super tacky, but certainly does the job for, pavements, footpaths, things like that. Very dependable and durability focused. Now we have no crazy geometry or crazy rocker here. It's not what this is designed for. It's same thing with the responsiveness. There's not a lot of snap and pop to it. It's here for comfort. It's here for durability. It's here to just get you through. So there's no race inspired feel here. It's just smooth. It's soft. It's dependable. Now, aesthetically, it's okay. I don't have the best colorway. Because I bought this for daily workwear and things, the all white colorway you can't really go wrong with. But the other colorway options I think are actually really good, like a lot more exciting than some things that Brooks puts out, especially because of the color coded foams. You kind of get this glow from within look in the other colorways, which is really cool. Really cool. So actually really impressed with what they did with the 23. Mine kind of looks like your nurse's tennis shoe or something, but still, it's not bad. It's not bad. No, not bad. I like it. And again, for me, it's not a performance shoe. It's a comfort shoe. So that is the Glycerin 23. Okay, and lucky last, shoe number 4. We have the ASICS Nimbus 28. Now, I have recently had the Nimbus 26. That was my daily work and walking shoe. It was great. It was really reliable. I recently purchased 2 pairs of the Nimbus 27 because, again, when it's just to replace your daily stuff, I didn't think I needed the latest version, and we'll get onto the price point. So I was happy to get the 27 on discount. Ordered both pairs in a normal width. That was a mistake. So my 26 I did order in wide. It's actually the only shoe up till now that I'd ever ordered in wide, because usually when I order running shoes, I'm happy for a normal fit. I like that little bit more mid-foot compression when I'm running. I'm comfortable with it. But when it comes to daily, I prefer something wider. Now, this is because I have a thickened nerve in my left foot, actually. I probably should have mentioned that earlier when I was talking about the wide and the glycerins. So that's why I bought the 26 as a wide. I was in the heart of dealing with that issue. So I wanted no compression on my foot when that was really first starting to come through. So yeah, bought the 26 in a wide, thought for some reason I'd be fine now in a daily 27 shoe that wasn't wide. And to be honest, they have this colorway and it's called White Fawn, and she's just so cute. And I think I just really wanted that one as well. But anyway, the 227s arrived and I immediately had to return them. Shout out to the Running Warehouse and Foot Motion, who both gave me some sort of discount or exchange or store credit option, because I did get them both on discount. Sometimes that is not viable when you get them on discount to actually let that happen. So really happy that came through, because that would have been a pain. Anyway, all of this led me to just going out and purchasing the 28 in wide. Just felt like the easier option at that point after stuffing around so much. So here we have the Nimbus 28 in wide. So the Nimbus has ASICS's FF Blast Plus foam, which is your modern EVA blend, and then you've got some pure gel in the heel. This is often described as a really soft shoe. For me, I always thought it leant a little bit firm, but I was coming out of the Invincibles into this, so maybe that was why. I definitely feel the softest now, and I'm not saying firm like super blast firm. It always felt slightly firm to me. Whereas now in the 28, I definitely feel the softness. It's not like the Glycerin soft plush sinking into the foam type feel though. It's more like a nice firm marshmallow, and you're very much sitting on top of the foam in this shoe in comparison to the Glycerin, where you are just so encompassed by the foam and the shoe and the heel, where it feels like you're in it. This is more like you're on top and you've got that nice little bit of bounce back or compression that comes with the foam. In terms of stack height, you have 43.5 in the heel and 35.5 in the forefoot. So we're giving ourselves a 8mm drop there. Surprisingly light for the amount of stack that you're getting in this. This is very much a max stack shoe. I think it was 281 grams in the men's size 9, which, if I recall, is about 20 grams lighter than the 27. So, yeah, as I said, I noticed it immediately coming from the 26 and only briefly wearing the 27. It's a lot lighter of a shoe. When I had the 26, I never ran in it. Well, I did once and I didn't enjoy it, so I kept it purely as a walking shoe. This I have still bought as a walking shoe and a little bit at work if I need, but honestly, I would consider running in it now. I would. Don't know if I will, but it's definitely there if I want to now. In terms of the lineup, ASICS gives you this as their cushioned protective daily trainer, the long run shoe, the one you put the miles in. So not really what I'm using it for, but that is what it is designed for. Now, this was again 280 Australian dollars. I again had a $30 discount, so didn't have to pay full price for that. Very much same camp as the Glycerin. It feels high to me as a price point, but again, I'm willing to buy it because I want it for a specific purpose. If I was just looking for a daily trainer, this isn't what I'd choose, and I definitely wouldn't choose it at that price point. There are better options, in my opinion. But Nimbus has a lot of OG fans and a few little details which people like me really appreciate, and I'll get into in a second. Yeah, we're also coming into, there's a few details about it that are a little bit outdated. I've heard many people now talking about the outdatedness of the foam. Now, ASICS has some great foams, so I appreciate that. I for the purpose I use it for, still really like this foam. So I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, the price could definitely be adjusted maybe a little bit to just stay competitive and in line. I also think last year's model, when it came out, was a little bit cheaper, maybe more along the 260 line. So yeah, look, if you're wanting to pick up a Nimbus, if you're a Nimbus lover, do what I had originally done, I would say. Go and get some of the 27s on a really heavy discount. I know that there's a few pairs out there now for, 170, 190, 200, things like that. So I would say that's a great option. There are some changes, obviously, weight, upper, but yeah, still very similar shoe. They don't stray too much from the classic recipe here. So upper, really, really happy that they went back to the knit upper. In the 27, they moved to that jacquard mesh, and visually, I didn't like it when it came, especially my black version. The white fawn looked a lot better, but the black version, the mesh just looked plasticky and yuck. Really happy they went back to a knit. It's not the same knit that they had in the 26, but I'm not mad at that because the 26 for me developed holes, and I have seen another old colleague of mine recently who was wearing the 26 and also had holes in similar spots, which is your wear zones here where your lateral baby toe is going to be sitting, and up here near your toe, your big toe. So yeah, hopefully that doesn't happen in this one. Tongues, come on. I'm going to insert some proper B-roll of what this tongue is like, but I am obsessed with the Nimbus tongue. I always have been. This is one of the reasons why I always purchase this, not just because I like the whole shoe, the aesthetic, the foam that, for a walking shoe, because this tongue is incredible when you're slipping it on and off. It's just so much fun. It's so thin and breathable and elasticy, so it's great here in Perth. This is a lot more breathable in general than the Glycerin. So yeah, for walking, I opt for this probably more, especially if it's warm. And for the Glycerin, when I'm in aircon and things all day, yeah, that's my more main choice. Nice bit of padding here around the heel, and again, really nice that you've got a stretchy pull tab here, a bit stretchier than the Glycerin. Laces, yeah, do the job. Not too short, not too long, nothing to write home about there. They're flat laces that hold tension well. One other thing I would add about the tongue though is, look, I don't have any issues with lockdown in this shoe. If you did though, yeah, you wouldn't want to overly tighten the laces given how thin the tongue is. That might cause you a little bit of discomfort. So just something to maybe be aware of if you have issues with getting a nice lockdown. I mentioned kind of briefly earlier when I was talking about the 27s, but it isn't overly wide when you get the normal fit. So glad that they do offer a wide option. Really wish that brands, so this is not just ASICS, but I really wish that brands would start giving us more color options in wide. Like, I'm lucky I can still do a normal fit for a running shoe, but yeah, the daily stuff, I really opt for this. And you get blacks, whites, and you might get 2 or 3 choices, and that's it. So I get that we can't be doing, like, it's not feasible that we do every shoe in every colorway and every width, but I wish we would, and I wish we would just get some maybe more fun, exciting options out there in the wider shoes. So that would be really cool if brands started doing that. Outsole, okay, sorry, haven't cleaned it as good as the other ones, obviously. We have your ASICS rubber here in your main contact zones. I've heard people call these the fingers. I kind of like that, and a little bit in the heel. You've got some exposed foam here, but your FF Blast Plus is quite a durable foam, so I'm not too worried about that. Grip feels quite solid, predictable. ASICS rubber is generally like a little bit tackier than the blown rubber. And yeah, it's going to do the job on the dry pavements and everything like that. I haven't had any issues in wet before with ASICS rubber, but I'm not exactly taking this on the trails or anything like that. Yeah, we've got the durability in the spots that we need it, so that we can cut some weight from having it all over. Now, much like the Glycerin, responsiveness is not really the focus of the Nimbus. This is your protective max stack shoe. If you want something springier and more propulsive and something faster, there are better options. That's not what this is for. We have a subtle rocker, but nothing aggressive here. And for me, that just makes it really nice for walking and just a nice like heel toe transition. Now, aesthetically, when I was looking at the Nimbus 28 online, I actually thought, for lack of a better word, that it was uglier than the 27, which was another reason that I ordered the 27 first. But when I saw this in person, I was really pleasantly surprised. I feel like that's not the case at all. I mean, the Nimbus is always quite a sleek, classic shoe, and that hasn't changed. Yeah, really great for daily wear, really great for work environments and things like that. Nice. This remains for me as a really good walking and protective shoe for work and wear like that. So yeah, I've always enjoyed the aesthetic of this, and I feel like it's nice and refined. So anyway, guys, that is it from me. I should probably stop now anyway because the sun is creeping in and half blinding me. I can't really see the camera anymore. These are the shoes that I have bought recently, minus one, which hasn't arrived, but it's fine. Yeah, I cannot wait to be running again and have an excuse to purchase more shoes and actually be able to properly test the shoes. I'm really excited about a lot of stuff that I'm seeing come out, so that is really cool. If you have any questions about anything that I said today or about any of these shoes, if you want to decipher if they're a good choice for you, happy to see if I can help in any way. But otherwise, that's it for today, and I will see you next time. Bye.